Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Data Analyst Skills Pathway. I'm Sam, and today we are focusing on the skill that will define your career progression more than any other. We are diving into Skill 50, S50, find, present, communicate and disseminate data analysis outputs effectively and with high impact through creative storytelling. In K53, we learned the theory of communication. Today, we practice the art. Think of a brilliant scientist who discovers a cure for a disease. If they write a paper so complex that no doctor understands it, the patient dies. The discovery is wasted. The same applies to you. You can write the best SQL in the world, but if you can't explain the insight to your manager, it's worthless. Our goal is to master the last mile of analytics, turning complex data into clear, actionable stories that drive change. Let's decode the standard. S50 breaks down into 3 actions: present, communicate, and disseminate. Presenting is the visual part. It's choosing the right chart and building a clean dashboard. Communicating is the narrative part. It's tailoring the message. You don't speak to a CEO the same way you speak to a developer. Disseminating is the distribution. It's not enough to make a report, you must ensure it reaches the right inbox, Slack channel, or wiki page. The core skill binding these together is storytelling. In data, a story isn't a fairy tale. It's a structure. Here is the context, the world as it is, here is the conflict, the problem in the data, and here is the resolution, the data-driven solution. First, let's look at visualization. You must choose the best medium for the message. If you want to compare values, e.g., sales by region, use a bar chart. Never use a pie chart for comparison. Human brains are bad at comparing angles. If you want to show a trend over time, use a line chart. If you want to show a correlation, use a scatter plot. Follow the ink-to-data ratio rule. Remove anything that isn't data. Number 3D effects. No drop shadows. No distracting backgrounds. Your job is to make the insight pop out, not to show off your graphic design skills. Next is storytelling. We use the SCR Framework, Situation-Complication-Resolution. This creates a compelling narrative. Start with the situation. Establish the baseline. We are currently tracking user sign-ups. Everyone nods, they know this. Then, hit them with the complication. However, sign-ups have dropped 10% since Tuesday. Now you have their attention. This is the hook. Finally, deliver the resolution. Our analysis proves the new form is broken on mobile. Reverting it will recover the lost traffic. This structure engages the brain. It turns a boring update into a mini mystery that you solve with data. You've built the chart and written the story. Now, dissemination. The biggest complaint I hear is, I sent the report, but nobody read it. That's because you probably sent a 50-page PDF. You need a multi-channel strategy. For leaders, send an executive summary email. 3 bullet points and 1 key chart. That's it. For managers, provide a link to the deep dive dashboard. Let them filter and drill down. For other analysts, store the full methodology in the wiki archive, Confluence. You must balance push communication, emailing them, with pull communication, dashboards they visit. How does S50 apply to you, Ben the data analyst? Scenario, you need to explain why churn is increasing. Visual, you don't use a table. You build a cohort analysis heat map. The red blocks clearly show that newer users are quitting faster. Story, you use SCR, we are acquiring record users. Situation, but retention has dropped to 30%. Complication. Our data shows they quit at the profile setup screen. Fixing this screen is the key. Resolution. Disseminate, you present this one slide in the board meeting for high impact. Then, you email the specific bug details to the product team. The result, the board approves the fix immediately. You translated data into action. Here is how you can apply S50 tomorrow. Action 1, declutter. Open your favorite dashboard. Remove the grid lines. Remove the borders. Remove the 3D effects. Simplify the colors. Increase the data ink ratio. Action 2, narrate. Add a big text box at the top called Key Takeaways. Summarize the insight in plain English. Don't make the user hunt for the answer, tell them. Action 3, draft. Write your next status update using the SCR format. Here is where we are, here is the blocker, here is the fix. Your goal is to make your data glanceable. A user should understand the message in 5 seconds. For your portfolio, use STAR. This is the communication story. Situation, the monthly sales reports were 20-column spreadsheets that no one actually read. Task, I needed to communicate sales performance effectively to the directors. Action, I visualized the key metrics in a Power BI dashboard, moving away from Excel tables. I tailored the view specifically for the sales director, hiding operational detail and highlighting strategic trends. I then disseminated a weekly insights email containing just the top 3 headlines and a link to the report. Result: the director now logs in daily. The sales strategy was adjusted based on the trends I highlighted. Reflection: I learned that accessibility is the key to data adoption. If it's easy to read, it gets used. In your major project, S50 is your results and discussion section. Create a one-slide story, a single visual that summarizes the whole project value. Annotate your charts. Don't just paste a graph. Draw an arrow pointing to the peak and write, "This spike was caused by the new feature." Date your audience. This report is written for the technical lead, so I have included detailed performance metrics. My advice: don't leave the interpretation to the assessor. Tell them exactly what the chart means. Be the guide. Let's wrap up. We've learned that S50 is about being a translator. We visualize clear charts, communicate with SCR stories, and disseminate through the right channels. The goal is high impact, changing minds and driving action. Your next step is to watch a tutorial on data visualization. Look up Cole Nussbaumer-Knaflick, she is the master of this. In our next session, we will look at S51, where we deal with the friction, identifying barriers to analysis and how to overcome stakeholders who don't want to listen. Remember, data is the ink, but you are the author. Write a good story. See you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you now feel more confident in mastering this topic. If you found value in this session, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and follow our channel. It really means a lot to me and helps the algorithm show these lessons to other apprentices, just like you, who need support. Don't forget, you can download today's slides and the full transcript at www.mentorinai.com EPA Hub. While you are there, check out our mock interview and portfolio review services to make sure you are fully ready for your EPA. See you in the next video. Keep learning.